Hello and welcome. My name is Errity Green and this is Wise Women Television. And today I am bringing you a pick a card reading on the next 5 years. So what will your life look like within the next 5 years or at 5 years time from here forward? So these are life predictions. What is going to happen in the next 5 years? You'll have to check in 5 years. Let a sister know because I would love to hear about it. And I also encourage you to like, subscribe if you find that you like this reading. I also encourage you to click the bell. That way you get notifications when any other video or reading pops up for you. I do want to let you know I offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs to support you in your life, in your work, and on your spiritual path. So I do have a program enrolling now. It's a profound, truly extraordinary program. You won't find anything like it anywhere else. It's called Spirit Woman. It's a year-long community to nurture your true nature and your highest potential. If that resonates or inspires you, I encourage you to check out the details below or go to my website, erritygreen.com/spiritwoman. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get you started. I'm going to place a picture up of your 4 card piles today to choose from. All right, card pile 1, the next 5 years. Okay, so next 5 years, you're going to be coming into a place of greater self-love, deservingness, worthiness, and you're going to allow yourself to experience more success, more fortune, some of you even fame, but you're going to allow yourself to step into a position of recognition, of being well known, of being perhaps an expert in your field, or being recognized in your field in some way. But you have come to a place of knowing and loving yourself so well that you are also able to let this amount of love in, meaning you're able to allow yourself to be seen and heard at a bigger, more masterful level. And so you might find that, again, some of you become known as an expert, some of you become well-renowned, some of you become world-renowned, some of you become famous, some of you become known for a body of work or a piece of work, some of you go viral, some of you become known in one way or another. Some of you could just be well-known in your community or stand out in your family, but in some way you kind of reap the rewards of what you've endeavored toward. You stand out in some way, you reach a height of success, you reach some kind of milestone or big goal or aspiration of your life or ambition in your life, and you should also know that it's connected then to that greater amount of self-love, of worthiness, of deservingness. So in the next 5 years, you not only experience some kind of height of success or realization of your higher potential, but some kind of milestone or goal that leads you to be in a position of greater fame, fortune, wealth, success, or something along those lines where you are well-known, well-renowned, an expert of some kind, recognized in your field to receive a reward. Again, you go viral, something happens that is a reflection of your own self-love, deservingness, and what you allow yourself to receive. Okay, you come to a place of greater authenticity, greater self-knowing, following your own path, following your own rhythm. You've really found who you are at a deep level, at a core level. You're really trusting in yourself. You're really almost even proud of yourself. You're self-possessed, self-assured, and you really can stand on your own 2 feet. And it's not this like rigid, really intense, like I know myself kind of energy. It's just like, this is me, this is who I am. You walk in an authentic path, you're true to yourself, and as a result, you know, again, we already talked about you reaping some of those rewards, but an authentic life, an authentic path in and of itself is a reward. And so you feel more fulfilled. You feel more at peace, at harmony. You feel like integrated. You feel well integrated. You might even say you feel complete. So, and it doesn't mean that we stop growing or moving or evolving or things don't change, but you get to a point where you feel pretty like proud of yourself. You feel pretty content, at peace with what you've created, creating a healthy body, a healthy, happy home, perhaps even, like I said, the successes in your work or you're on your career path or purpose path, and you've really found some inner balance, some inner harmony, some inner peace. You really feel good about where you are, how far you've come. You also feel good about, you know, the things that have transpired on your journey to bring you here. Everything feels more meaningful and purposeful in terms of like it all sort of unfolded perfectly to bring you right where you are now. And you're grateful. You're grateful for the path that you've walked and for the experiences that you've had, because they ultimately lead you there. And again, you feel more balanced within yourself. Like, it's almost like, you know, when you, is it the word homogenized? I can't pronounce it, what we do to milk. But it's like you take certain substances and you put it through a process to where everything's sort of one and the same. And excuse my enunciation of that word, I don't know if that's accurate. It's been too long since my old school chemistry classes. But what I will say is, it's like all parts of you are on a united front, all parts of you being heard, seen, expressed. It's like you're kind of happy and healthy in the home arena, whatever that looks like for you, on career path and self-expression, sensuality and sexuality, whatever. Sort of like all pieces of your pie are feeling really satisfying, and you're really savoring that and you're enjoying that. And this is a time in your life where there's a lot of celebration and success and enjoyment, and reaping the fruits of your labor, and enjoying and savoring those fruits, and just really feeling alive, feeling well, feeling healthy, feeling stable, and feeling like it was all worth it. Like this all happened for a reason. You know, I put in the time, and here I am, and I'm really experiencing what it is that I came here for. Yeah, a time of receiving. You're in a position of, we'll show this card. You're in a position of, yeah, finally receiving the fruits of your labor, the rewards of your efforts. And again, a lot of this is you allowing yourself to receive, allowing yourself to savor and be satisfied. So, you know, we can experience a lot of success that feels empty and unfulfilling. That's possible too. But in your case, you know, because of the work that you've done and the path that you've walked, you're in a position where you're like, hey, you know, you're available to experience it, to enjoy it, to engage with it. And I feel like for some of you, the reason why you had the path that you did, and it might have had some losses and disappointments, was because it was supporting you to be in a position to be able to fully experience and receive your successes when it came. You know, life really wanted you, higher power, God, great spirit, cosmos, universe, earth mother, eternal mother, it doesn't matter what we call it, wanted you to be able to really receive and experience the riches when that time or era came. And the next 5 years, you can trust that your star is born. So just like that movie, A Star is Born. A star is born in the next 5 years, and you, with some kind of personal success, some kind of professional success, some kind of fame, fortune, or other kind of satisfaction, aspiration, dream, or ambition that comes to fruition, and you are feeling loved, held, celebrated, supported, you are experiencing abundance, and you really have a nice, that's really an understatement, next 5 years. So good for you. Within the next 5 years, this happens for you. So do come back in 5 years, let me know. Also, if you enjoyed this reading, I encourage you to like, to subscribe, share your story in the comments. I do want to let you know I offer personal readings as well as coaching programs. I have Spirit Woman enrolling now. You can check out those details below and on my website, erritygreen.com/spiritwoman. Thank you, card pile 1. Okay, card pile 2, your next 5 years. You meet your soulmate, your life partner, your lover. You meet your person. It feels like this has been a long time coming, or a long time yearning for you, a long time desire, and it's something that you've maybe even kept on the back burner, that was an undercurrent for you that maybe you didn't give tons of time and attention to, but it was something that was special to you and important to you, and something that you wanted to bring to fruition and realize in your lifetime. You wanted to share your life with a special person. It does feel like you've had previous relationships in the past. I'm not getting much more information than that, but it's like you've been there, you've done that, and yet maybe there's been a nice clearing where there's been some open space for a while of you on your own, finding yourself, finding what works for you, finding your own rhythm, your own authenticity, so on and so forth. You're carving your path. What does that look like for you as a single person? Again, you might have sort of connected with people here and there, but there's been a nice wide gap in terms of previous serious or sincere relationships. This person comes in the next 5 years, and they're also looking for you. So you guys, I say you guys, you know, because I'm from Illinois, the Midwest, and in the USA, and so you might not be a guy or identify as a guy, but I say you guys. It's not meant to be offensive, it's just a saying. So all of that to say, you meet your person, you connect, they're also looking for you, and in one way or another. So the next 5 years, that's one piece. One piece is you call in this soulmate, this twin flame, whatever you call it, this life partner. You end up spending most, if not the rest of your days with this person. I actually feel like I know some about the death, but we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, you might be one of those people who commits to till death do us part with this person. You might get married. I feel like even an alternative wedding, like not super serious with a lot of people, but something personal and special for the both of you, a commitment ceremony more than anything, or a little ritual. So I do feel that for you as well. So the next 5 years might actually might contain that commitment ceremony. You very well in the next 5 years might find yourself married or committed to someone long-term. The next thing is, after a series of disappointments or seeming failures or upsets, you really do find yourself on a purpose path that enlightens you and enlivens you and lights you up and inspires you. You feel fulfilled. You feel satisfied. You are finding greater reward and greater success on this path and more fulfillment than you have found in previous years. You're really feeling like you're in your element, you're in the zone, kind of living high on the good of life. There's been this is a nice tide for you to ride, because, the tide goes in and out for all of us and over the course of our lives. But for you guys, in the best way, the tide comes in. The tide comes in the best way. All the abundance and the love and the money and the success and all that stuff that you were seeking or maybe working toward or thinking of for a long time, all that stuff starts to come in. And this is after a series of upsets and failures and so on and so forth, where things weren't working out, they weren't coming to fruition. Maybe you were second guessing. Maybe you were walking a path that wasn't in like 100% alignment with what you wanted, with what you really deeply wanted. You didn't really know that until you lost it and maybe had to do some self-discovery there. But one way or another, you really step into your long-standing legacy. So what you were meant to do, what you were meant to impart, the soul, the mission that your soul has in store for you, you step into that more fully in the next 5 years. Now, I do feel like there might even be greater heights or successes to come after this 5 years. I feel like in the next 5 years specifically, you step into a greater fulfillment and satisfaction with your work, where you're really feeling spot on and in alignment with what you're doing and sharing. You feel creatively expressed. You feel fulfilled and satisfied. It doesn't feel like the whole and full of your life, though. I feel like you end up finding a lot of fulfillment in the home, at home, with yourself, with your life partner, with your lover. You don't want your work to be your whole life. It's your legacy. It's your legacy work. It's something that really fulfills you and sustains you, and it's what you love to share and do in this world, and yet feels like you get a lot of your fulfillment at home and with this partner. Yeah, I feel like you also step into, there's a few things here. Just switching my legs over, I get a little uncomfortable after a time. So I feel like you come into greater spiritual ability as well. Your psychic senses, your intuitive knowings, your spiritual gifts and awareness, they expand or refine or evolve. So you're able to see things clearly. You might find that your clairs, I don't know all of them, but clairsentience, clairaudience, there's a few others. But each of us kind of tap in our own way. And I feel like in a lot of ways you start to be able to see things more clearly, even if you don't see them through visions or dreams, which you might actually begin to see auras or even spirits and so on and so forth. And then you might also like more mediumship as well. I feel like some of you are able to see, meaning you sort of have a gut sense, felt knowing about what things are to happen or what things are to occur. You kind of have a felt sense knowing of prophecies and what is to come collectively or for yourself. You're able to see into futures pretty well and see the possibilities and potentials for other people as well as yourself. I feel like you're very grounded in your wisdom, and you're very connected to, in that way, to people, to earth. It's not too airy-fairy or out there. It's very much grounded spiritual wisdom also, but you're really coming into your greater spiritual wholeness, and you're coming into those greater spiritual gifts. I feel like as a result of this, you end up having a lot of different opportunities to choose from in terms of where you want to take either your work or your purpose path. Even other potentials open up, not just work, but just in terms of how you show up, what your life looks like, because you're evolving too over these next 5 years, and your life changes so much. You end up having a soulmate or a life partner. I feel like you guys might even settle somewhere and maybe make a move your residence, move in together. Plus your, purpose path is coming alive in a bigger way, and your creative work is very much on, and there's spirituality is expanding, your spiritual gifts. So a lot of things come up in terms of new paths, new potentials, new possibilities, new ideas, new insights, new opportunities. And you actually are in a position to be able to kind of pick whichever path you want and go wherever you want to go. But you find that, you're just expanding in so many areas that a lot more potential sort of light up for you, and you can kind of take it wherever you want to go. But in the next 5 years, specifically for you, Card Pile 2, you're finding the love of your life. You may even get married and move in with them or move residence with them. Your legacy of light is what it says here on the card, but your purpose path, purpose work expands and becomes something really fulfilling and supportive for you. And it's something that's a very active part of your life, as well as your spiritual expansion that happens too in the next 5 years. So that's your reading card pile 2. If this lands for you, if it resonates, do like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Of course, I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs. Spirit Woman is enrolling now. You can check out those details below or at erritygreen.com/spiritwoman. Thank you, card pile 2. Okay, card pile 3, the next 5 years. Ooh, okay. So the next 5 years, there's a lot of potential opening up for you, a lot of potential. So you might have been in a period where things were kind of staying the same or staying stagnant or things were opening up or whatever. I feel like even some of you are kind of looking for clarity, might even have some confusion or just looking for some clarity around what your next 5 years could look like. And you might not know, excuse me, which is why you're here. Because what I'm getting is this. You know, really listening to yourself, really connecting with what you want, and seeing the Magician here as well. So you're getting an opportunity here to really create whatever it is you want, create anew, really determine, listen closely to yourself, what it is that you want, and know that you aren't limited by any certain thing. As I look later, I see some other things are being shifted out of, like old patterns, old habits, maybe even old people, places, and things that had expired for you, meaning it's become a limit and it's not really serving your expansion or your growth anymore. And there's opportunity for greater love elsewhere. So as I'm saying that, it seems like there might have been some kind of transition or some things that have been in flux for you. And again, you're deciding what that next chapter is going to look like. But you're being told here with the Magician card that you're the author of your life. You get to decide what your next 5 years look like. And I feel like maybe it's not set in stone or being shared here because it might still be up in the air to a degree. Maybe you haven't fully determined what you want. Maybe you haven't looked at what you want. Maybe it's like you have an idea of what you want, but you don't know how to bring it forth. This could be in career or relationship, but I do feel like some of you, or many of you at least, are maybe even on the fence. Again, you just don't have that clarity. And so this pathway isn't fully solidified such that there's even clear energy to share here with you. It's more of like, you can do what you want. You know, it's all here. The possibilities are all here. The potentials are all available. You could decide where to take this ship. You're steering it. But there might be an opportunity here to really get clear on what it is that you want, because we have that listening for truth card, which means, you know, doing that deeper listening to see what it is that you truly want, what you truly value, what you want to create for your life, what is important to you, what does matter most. What would you like to prioritize over the next 5 years? Is it love? Is it career? Is it family? Is it health? Is it creative work? Is it creative expression? Is it purpose path? Is it education? What is it that you really want? Yeah, and I feel like you might be deciding between two paths right now. You're deciding which, or two or more. You're deciding which would be more fulfilling. What do I really want? And it could be like different areas, like relationship or education or career, but I feel like it's like more so, you know, again, what do I really want? Do I really want this, or do I really want that? Or I kind of like this, but I kind of like that. Or maybe you change your mind a lot, and that could represent that, where you're like, okay, I start this, and I start this path, and I maybe start a degree program, and then I change my mind, or I have a relationship for a little while, and then I'm done. Now, I'm not feeling like a huge energy of that, where you're just like very dismissive and just move on, not flighty. I just feel like it's difficult, or at least right now, you just lack clarity on what your true alignment is and what your deeper alignment is. And it's asking you to trust yourself to make a decision, and then trust yourself with your decision. So let yourself be as creative as possible. Heartstorm, you know, instead of brainstorm, heartstorm about what your future could look like. Write down all the wonderful things, all of the wonderful things you would like to see in your future. Write down all of the wonderful things you'd like to see specifically in the next 5 years. And then write down all of the wonderful things that might be possible that you want in 3 years, and so on and so forth. And then instead of having to narrow it down or feel like I just have to focus on this, or I just want to work toward that, really look at the big desire, the bigger dream, the bigger vision, and allow that to inform the decisions you make now. And then trust that big desire, trust that bigger vision, trust that dream, and then trust that decisions and choices that you make now toward it will not only bring forth that piece, but bring forth the whole shebang. It's trusting your path, trusting your inner vision, trusting your voice, trusting your alignment, trusting your choices and your steps and your decisions, making that decision and moving forward, and trusting that life will take care of the whole pie. Even if you're only right now focused on that first part of the pie. The other pie will start to fill. Now, I do feel like, again, some of you guys are letting go of things from the past here. It's very clearly, there's maybe some temptations from the old ways of living and being, old lifestyle patterns. These could be addictions. These could be toxic people, places, or things. This could be things that just don't serve your highest good or your highest potential. Over the next 5 years, you will be clearly letting go of these things. In fact, I feel like in order for this sort of transition to transpire, for you to step into the energy of the new, this stuff is going to be cleared out like as you move along or first. But that process looks different for everybody. And this might just be like an invitation of, hey, you know, for you to actually experience the new, you got to experience the new, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. So it's kind of reminding you, you know, that there could be limitations in your current reality, whether internally or externally, thoughts, words, choices, actions, beliefs, emotional habits, you know, people's, places, or things externally, but there might be some things in the way of what you want. And a part of your process over the next 5 years, if not now, is allowing all that stuff to clear, letting the natural force of evolution take its place and do its work, so that stuff can be moved out, that stuff can be cleared out. You're kind of looking at the things that need to be looked at, sitting with the things that need to be sat with, faced, felt, let go of, released, healed, processed, revealed, so on and so forth. There's really no one path to self-discovery or self-awakening or even manifestation. It's your path. It's unique to you. So it's trusting you, trusting your path, trusting how things are going for you. And again, there's a clearing out that might be happening or that's being asked to happen in order for you to be able to step into what you want the next 5 years, which might also explain why there's a lack of like perfect clarity about this is what it is for you in the next 5 years. It's because you're still living in some of this old energy. You're not even clear exactly about what you want for yourself. And so that there's no path laid out. There's no energy there for me to report to you. So all of that said, card pile 3, the next 5 years has some self-discovery and journeying in that regard, but you're being asked to listen to your inner voice, listen to those inner authentic dreams and desires, begin to follow that path. Pick one or pick whichever focus and trust it. Trust that whatever you choose is right for you. Trust that whatever that is will grow and expand to the bigger vision that you have for yourself. And as you do this, let those old things go. There is something, I don't want to say in the way, because that kind of implies you can't have anything or experience anything else other than that. But there's clearly a call or an invitation to clearing out, you know, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. And for some of you, this is victimhood. For some of you, is this believing that you're not capable of change, or that you can't create something new, or that you're stuck in the ways that you're at now, or that you don't have the help to be able to create or forge a new path. And that's the stuff that's got to go. For you to experience something new, you do have to tap into, connect with your creative power. And that means you're going to have to not listen to the parts of you that are attempting to sabotage and tell you otherwise, but instead to really recognize your creative power and advance and trust yourself. So that's your reading, card pile 3. Thank you for watching. If this lands for you, I encourage you to like, to subscribe, do share your story in the comments. Of course, I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs. Right now, Spirit Woman is enrolling. You can check out those details below or at erritygreen.com/spiritwoman. Okay, just moving. Okay, card pile 4, the next 5 years. What's in store for you? Yeah, so card pile 4, you start to bring something into form that has been a long-term or long-standing vision for you. It's like you finally, we'll put that in quotes, start taking action and doing the things, like putting your money where your mouth is, walking the talk, like finally start moving toward what it is that you want for yourself. It's like you've had this bigger dream, vision, aspiration, you know, you kind of sat with it, you've sort of mulled over it, you've chewed on it, you've kind of tasted it, right? Dip your toe in the water, backed out, you know, maybe did courses and programs and worked with mentors and things like that, and done some healing work and kind of dabbled and consumed, but really hadn't really, you know, fully stepped into, owned, anchored this path in by taking the necessary steps and consistently to move forward and really bring this to fruition. The next 5 years, though, has you bring whatever you want, whether it's your body of work, your craft, your self-expression, a different life, a different lifestyle. Some of you are seeking more community, and this is really random, but I'm sharing this here. Some of you are seeking some kind of even community, moving to an ideal community, or like not a utopian community, but where it's intentional, conscious community where you're moving in with other people and sharing resources and so on. Obviously, that's not going to be the case for everybody, you guys. Either you might share similar values, or that's just one or a few people in this whole shebang here. However, apply what I share to your circumstances one way or another. You finally start taking action on these long-standing dreams that you've carried with you for a long time, and you do bring it to fruition. You do. You experience the result and outcome of this in the next 5 years. You not only take action, you experience the result within the next 5 years. Yeah, because you stopped believing and like kind of played along with these you stopped believing that you had to wait for something or postpone it or delay it, or I can't, or it's too hard, or it requires more money, or I don't have the capital, or I wasn't born into a privileged family, or I'm not enough, or it's not enough, or they aren't enough, or this can't, all that naysaying that kind of happens in our head that's not true and is more of a falsehood. You listen to that for a long time. You let it delay you. You let it postpone you. A lot of you even had a lot of excuses. So I'm feeling like some of you were like, oh, well, so-and-so didn't do this for me. Or I wasn't born into a wealthy family, or, they didn't show me how to do this. Or I feel like some of you guys have taken like courses and maybe even worked in programs and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, well, that person didn't do this for me, and they didn't show me the right way, and I didn't have the right strategy. So there might even be some excuses in there for some of you, and it's like you were sort of in a childlike energy of not truly owning your path, not truly owning your own capability, not owning your own responsibility, your responsibility to yourself, not acting from a sovereign place sourced within yourself. You're sort of waiting for life to deliver it, waiting for someone to show you like ABC when it's going to be unique to everybody, waiting for some sign or signal or silver platter to give you this. And maybe not all of you, right? I don't feel like you guys did this in a like resentful or bitter way at all. I feel like it was very innocent and childlike, like, oh, life's gonna do this for me. Yeah, it's gonna show up at my door. And it's like, well, no, not really. Which is why in the next 5 years, you do take action, you do experience the result. You do get to see live in the flesh, tangibly, what it is, your dream that you've sought, worked toward, and began to build. Now, for some of you haven't taken actual physical action yet, but you've done a lot of mental prep, a lot of emotional prep. You've kind of done all the ether kind of stuff, and all the other bodies, but you just haven't physically brought it to life. You haven't physically taken action or been consistent enough to see something all the way through, all the way to fruition, to ripeness, to abundance. You're going to experience that in the next 5 years. You're graduating. You're graduating from this page, we'll say, right? This sort of, lower end royalty to the Queen and to the Wheel of Fortune, where the time on the old chapter expires. That old chapter closes of, again, putting the responsibility on other people, or giving away your power, or assuming that something or someone is going to hand deliver it to you, or give it to you, or start it for you, or initiate it for you, and all of that stuff. You're kind of taking back the power and realizing, you know what? I'm not waiting anymore. I'm taking this into my own hands, and I'm going to do it. Again, so that chapter ends. And I feel like a lot of you also leave behind a lot of pain, suffering, and difficulty you might have experienced during this chapter of your life. Now, I feel like these might be quiet challenges, or quiet hurdles, or quiet pains, because I feel like you're kind of in a closet and you're kind of battling your own inner demons and challenges all on your own, and you don't have a whole lot of support around you, or people who really know what you're going through or see you clearly. And so it's like you were concerned about wanting to bring some of this to form, but there was another side of you, or another thing that was kind of taking up a lot of real estate, your mind, body, spirit, and psyche. So you were kind of battling some things, as inner conflict or healing journey or whatever, that you were also working through at the same time, which makes sense as to why you weren't taking all that action, or especially consistently. It also makes sense as to why, it wasn't the main priority. It also makes sense as to why you had to clear that shit out before you could move forward. So it's also trusting your path, recognizing it's not going to look like anybody else's, recognizing that oftentimes taking action before you have clarity or a clean foundation is putting the cart before the horse. You were following the natural unfolding of your own unique creative process, your own life, even life path that doesn't have to look like anybody else, and you don't have to create a body of work before you're even clear, or before you've kind of resolved your own inner struggles or battles. Like, there's something here that was maybe eating at you, or sitting with you, or occupying you, that was more so taking up most of your attention, time, or energy. Now, for some of you, it wasn't an inner battle. It wasn't a healing journey. It wasn't an inner conflict, because I also felt like relationship challenges and some of that. I felt like healing work regarding inner child and family of origin dynamics and issues and such. For some of you, it was parenthood. You know, that was on the front burner, and it just wasn't something that you were, you know, your dream or what your aspiration, whatever it is you're wanting to build, wasn't the first priority. That's okay, right? But there was something else that was taking up primary residence, and I think you can give yourself permission to own that. It's okay. It's okay that that took primary residence. It's okay that that was the priority. It's okay that that was the value. And in the next 5 years, that chapter comes to a close, meaning it's not that those things are gone or pushed away or set aside. It's that you sort of integrated them and become expanded, that it's a part of the totality of you, such that it's not your primary focus. It's not your primary priority. It's not your only priority. It's not the only thing that's in your attention, you know, attention, it's not really in your awareness, rather, where you decide, okay, it's time, and it's time for me, and it's time for me to do this, and it's important that I do this. So the next 5 years, you do see this through, and you do experience yourself having not only walked this journey and brought this journey or this thing, whatever it is, to fruition, but you're able to kind of sit back pleased with yourself that you finally did it. So good work, card pile 4. If this lands for you, and in 5 years, if it works out, come on back to YouTube and let me know. If you enjoyed this reading, I encourage you to like, to subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications. Of course, I do offer personal readings as well as coaching programs. Right now, Spirit Woman is enrolling. You can find out those details below and at erritygreen.com/spiritwoman. Thank you, card pile 4.